Good morning, Dubai. This is the Lovin Dubai Show. I'm Casey.
And I'm Abdul Majid.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, second time doing the Lovin Dubai Show, but
Back,
good to be here.
Mass is not well today, but hopefully she'll be back safe and sound tomorrow. Our top stories today: AI is now helping Dubai beat traffic jams.
And GCC nations dominate Arab salary rankings.
We're talking about an Emirati man's construction site apology that's winning praise.
And a resident shares her opinion about people filming their good deeds.
So many debate-worthy topics on the show today. Later in the show, we're going to talk about should interns be paid. We're going to have career ladder secrets from a recruitment expert.
And in today's rapid weather report, it's mostly sunny with temperatures ranging from 34 to 43. Don't expect any rain, I think.
Have you seen Shauka, Alain?
Yeah. I don't know what's happening in the northern Emirates. It's very confusing. There's rains there. There's nothing here.
I'm glad we don't get the rains here.
Yeah.
You're not going to be here in a little bit for the interview, so I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
And I wonder if it's generational question, and you might get different answers. So, Abdul Majid, should interns be paid?
100%. Obviously. All the internships that I've done through my life, I've been paid. And I was talking to you about it. You were paid for the internship. Have you ever had an experience where they offered you an unpaid internship?
I went straight into teaching
Nice.
in my professional career, I guess.
Yeah.
I've done smaller internships when I hadn't left school.
Yeah.
So for like a week, I call them work experience rather
Nice,
than internships. I think, broader term, if you are out of high school
Yes.
and you are in a company and you're contributing, you should be paid. It's a company.
Yeah.
They should be able to afford it if they're using your work. But if you haven't left high school and you're purely there for a week or two for work experience purposes, I don't think you should get paid.
Yeah, shorter terms, I think 1 or 2 weeks doesn't make sense because you're just there, you're learning and you're getting out. You won't be able to actually utilize anything that you learn. So that way, maybe it makes sense, but I still think there should be some pocket money given. I told you the story before the show also. My wife got paid by the manager, not the company, when she was here studying. So it's very interesting.
Here?
Yeah, in Dubai.
Sorry, your wife got paid by the manager?
Yeah, she was like, I'll pay you out of my pocket, but
Why?
formally it's not paid. Yeah, because she has fuel, she had a car, she was running around, so she paid her out of the pocket. That's a very nice gesture from a person itself. That's what Lovin Dubai is about, what I've realized over the years. Sorry, I do the Smashy Business Show.
Shout out to that manager.
Right. And
shout out to Smashy Business Show, by the way. What a plug.
I recently met that lady at an event when I went with my wife, and I realized that people here actually care a lot more. Companies, I think the story stems from that kid who was like, asking some government agency, I think more, to do something. But I think people here will pay you from their pocket. I know a story. It's my wife's story.
That's phenomenal.
So
Shout out to that manager. Was it an international company?
Yeah, it's a big company. It's one of the biggest media houses. I won't say the name, obviously, but yeah.
Okay.
And even right now, in 2025, they don't pay for their internships. Oh, actually, one more example. One of the interns that we had here, she is working there and they don't pay.
No, this is why it's an important conversation because I think unpaid internships is very common.
But now, I think people have made it a point to bring the new kids in. They're ambitious, they're energetic. You can make them do a lot of the work and not pay them. And just say, oh, we have such a big name, won't pay you, but you get the experience and this will eventually land you a job. There's one more example I know. Recently, one of my uncle's daughter, she did an unpaid internship which converted into a job. So I think that's the biggest catch they give you. Oh, just come here, do an internship for 2 months. If you're good, we'll start paying you, we'll keep you as an employee. So I think it's a lot of different tactics that people use.
Well, it is interesting here at Lovin. We have interns every summer. We do kind of summer internship programs. We get a lot of university students through the doors. I think they get hands-on experience. They get paid a stipend, so like travel and basic food is covered. But we hire really strong interns. But at the same time, we have how many coming through the door, and then there will be hires at the end of most summers, which is pretty cool. And I hope that continues.
I've been here for 1 year. Casey's been here longer. I've seen a lot of interns turn into full-time employees, so I can vouch for that. And overall, I think it's just that if you're making them do the legwork, if you're telling them to go outside, if you're actually making them do stuff which actually costs money, just pay them a little bit.
I think companies should pay.
Yeah.
Companies should pay. But what we're going to have later on is a deep dive into how you can make your CV stand out, flags to watch out for on companies that you're applying for. Are you just going to be making coffee, or will you actually get value of experience, the questions you can ask? And we're going to have a recruitment expert on to discuss that. Let's jump in to, you get your job, you get a salary, but are you earning enough?
Yeah, and the UAE countries aren't just known for their skyscrapers and luxury lifestyles. They're also leading the the Arab world. UAE is leading the Arab world in average monthly salaries. According to US magazine CEO World, the UAE tops the region with $3,770 per month salary. That's the average that they took.
I'm going to put that into dirhams as you continue.
Yeah. And in 17th spot globally, and attracting top talent with competitive pay, tax-free income. That's the good part, I think, out of all of the things, that whatever you get, you get. And it's they have a strong expat benefits that they get. I think there's relocation allowances and all that. But Qatar follows with $3,275 monthly. That's 26th worldwide, boosted by its energy-rich economy and major global events like the FIFA World Cup, which recently happened. And that strengthened their job market.
Followed by Qatar, we have Saudi, which is in the 3rd place regionally and 34th globally. And the average salary there is just under $2,000 per month, reflecting its ongoing Vision 2030 reforms and diversification away from oil. After that, we've got Kuwait, followed by Bahrain, known for its financial sector, and then Oman. Experts say these figures not only reflect the economic strength, but also the Gulf's ongoing investment in infrastructure, education, and industries that promise even higher salaries in the future. So UAE is topping it at $3,700 per month. They're saying the average salary here in the UAE is 13,500 dirham.
I don't think so. No, it depends on the data that you take, right? If you take overall data and you take all the corners of salary brackets, the highest paid ones and the lowest paid ones, I don't think the average will be nicer, because the highest ones are like 5%, 10% of the people. The 90% are paid below average.
So do you think it would be higher or lower than that?
I think it would be lower than that.
Really?
A little lower.
But some people are on like astronomical numbers that my mind can't even compute.
That ruins the data statistically very easily. If someone gets 60,000 and someone gets 10,000, the average would be very weird. It'll be 60 plus 70, 35,000. So imagine the 10,000 guy will be like, no, this is not the salary that I get on average. So I think
but it's the average salary of, you've got.
Depends on
how many million people in the country?
They've asked, like, is it the SME people who are working in small companies? Is the multinational?
Yeah, but you've got to assume it's a
overall thing.
Yeah, it's an average of the population, which would be
but I still
less than
think
10 million
13.
in the country.
I think the main question I think should be: is it enough?
Is
it
it
enough to live in all the countries that you've mentioned? UAE, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia, then Qatar, Bahrain, Oman. Is it enough to live? 13,000.
I think, so is it enough to live and also to save?
Yeah.
Because the reality is you've got a visa for 10 years, then you might essentially need to go back to your home country, so you need to be thinking about those next steps as well. I think it is, however, when you come here, it's hard not to make certain lifestyle choices.
Yeah, you would want to go on a weekend expedition to this place, and the ticket costs are there, the food costs are there.
Or like takeaways. I get takeaways all the time. I have a cleaner twice a week. I would never have that at home, and certainly it's more affordable, but it still costs.
Yeah,
and
it's still a lot of costs that you have to put in here. The main thing, I think, when I came here, one of my uncles who's lived here for 35 years, he gave me an expert advice. I think that makes sense for a lot of people. He said 33% should be your rent. Don't pay more than 33% of your salary. And 33%, he's like, you have a good house, a good quality of life, maybe near the metro if you don't have a car and all that. He's like, never spend more than 33% on rent. 33% is 33% is all your costs, whatever bills, all that. not more than that. And then the rest save. And I was like, very difficult.
I need to do a quick check there. So save 33%.
So 33, he said these are the 3 brackets that you need to have if you want to have a good life. Obviously, save also. It's a savings plan. Yeah. So what I do is, what I think ideally happens and can happen and should happen is, maybe you take your costs, the second 33%, maybe a little higher, take it to 40, 45%, but save at least 20%, I think.
Yeah.
That'll be a good number to save.
What is
So if 13% is like, save at least 2,500, 2,600 dirhams per month. And have an investment plan. I always say this.
Yes.
Yeah, a business journalist, so yeah, always have an investment plan, because your money in the bank doesn't do you any good.
100%.
Yeah, and there's
Making
like
those
so many options now in UAE. Sorry, going to a business side, but I think investment options are good. Not financial advice, but again, there's so many companies that are letting you buy property like blocks.
The Pripco stuff.
Yeah, Pripco stuff for $2,000, 2,000 dirhams.
That stuff scares me.
It's
Everything scares me.
it's not a big win on your money.
Hence why I have no savings. Yeah.
For example, on $2,000, you'll never make 100% profit. It won't turn into 4,000. But instead of staying in the bank and being 2,000, it may turn into 2,100. So it's at least your money is not sitting. It's doing some work.
Great advice.
Yeah.
'Cause whenever I discuss financials, I just need it in super simple terms. Advice is your money is not sitting. It has to be working. Speaking of working, you thought the roads were safe in Dubai. Well, we have news that the roads are getting safer.
And AI is now helping Dubai beat traffic jams. So Dubai's Roads and Transport Authority, RTA, has unveiled a cutting-edge AI-powered platform called Data Drive, a clear guide. It's designed to tackle traffic congestion faster than ever before, using real-time traffic data combined with 5 years of historical trends. The system monitors road conditions, vehicle speeds, and congestion levels across the city.
But what is the big upgrade? So instead of waiting for manual reports from consultants or field teams, which often can cause some delays, the AI is sending instant alerts to traffic control teams, which basically means they can make quick adjustments or signal changes or diversions to help you, the driver, get to where you want to go faster.
I think this means faster detours, smoother commutes, and fewer traffic jams for Dubai drivers. The RTA says the new system marks a major leap toward a smarter, more efficient road network. Yeah. Is everyone feeling it? That's the big question. Have you felt in the last 1 year, 2 years that traffic congestion has become better? It's a very complicated question to answer, I know, Casey. Is traffic getting better?
Is traffic getting better? I believe traffic will improve. I know there are many minds hard at work to improve congestion in the city. Roads are being built.
Yes.
It's not just AI, figuring out diversions when there's, a bad weather or a little flood on a road. Roads are being built to improve traffic. Has it improved apart from the fact that it's summer yet? In certain places, still congested, but every now and then a new flyover happens.
Yes.
That changes the world of like 3,000 people. It changes their lives dramatically. Yeah. So I think there's going to be more and more of those in the next
even
5 to 10 years.
I remember we did a campaign, the whole GITEX thing last year when it happened, October, November. And we had a whole thing where we were giving traffic updates. RTA is very active on X. Whenever I have a problem,
they're so good.
I'm
Do you
always
tweet them?
No, I don't tweet to them, but I look at them because I remember when I was using Metro at some point in my life, I would always go to RTA and check, and they would give you an instant. So you go to a metro station and there's like 100 people standing, and you're like, why is this happening? And you go to the RTA and they'll tell you, oh, there's something going on and this and that. So they're very good with those updates. I think if this is an app and if this works, I think we'll just have an app. You won't need to go to X or any accounts and see what's happening. You'll get a notification. And it's a very good thing. I would love it, having it. I think they should partner with Waze or Google Maps.
Yes.
Just be like, add it. We'll give you the real-time data through all of the setup that we've put. And you just add it there.
I wonder if we're Lovin Dubai, so of course we fly the flag for the city, but I do wonder how many other cities in the world are so intent on improving our lives. I feel like so many other cities are reactive to a situation, but the UAE is constantly focusing on how to make residents' lives better. Traffic is a problem in the city. How can we improve it?
Yeah.
So good.
I heard one guy, it was a reel, but he made a very nice point. He was like, all the cities that you see in the world, the biggest cosmopolitan cities, LA, you go to France, Paris, all these kind of cities, they naturally became big. They were not planned from the start. Dubai, the good thing is, from day one, they actually planned everything. They have a plan, Urban Master Plan 2040. By 2040, they're expecting their population to at least go 50% up or at least 70% up, 50 to 70.
Wow.
They have a plan for that. So they're very proactive. That is why I'll give you one, again, I have a lot of examples. Dubai is new for me since I've been here for only 2.5 years. So everything makes me like wonder what is happening. So from Discovery Gardens for Jan to this office, Production City, it usually took me like 13, 14 minutes, but I had to take a long U-turn kind of a thing.
Those U-turns. They've built a bridge.
They built a bridge, and now I get out, I directly go on the bridge, land in Production City, and I'm like, okay, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, I'm at office. So the thing that you were talking about,
I'm
the
so
bridges,
happy for you that you
right?
got one of those bridges, because those loops. When I look at accommodation prospects for where I could live in the future, and if I look at my office and if I see a loop on a road, I'm thinking, no. I'm not gonna do that.
I think we did a story, I saw it on Lovin Dubai, that people who live in front of malls, like right across, they can't just like hop on the road and be like, okay, 5-minute walk to the mall. It's actually going around. So the good best thing about this city is they are very proactive. You name it, they'll have a plan for it already in place. And you just Google keywords and a plan will pop up because it's already in motion.
And so if you have something you need the RTA to be aware of, like Majid said, they're excellent on Twitter and X. They're very responsive and they will look at your problems. So do check them out and share your updates there. Speaking of sharing updates, an Emirati man's construction site apology is winning praise. So in Nad Al Shiba 4, there's a lot of building going on, but one resident is giving a whole new meaning to neighbourly vibes. So he's got an unfinished villa, construction ongoing, you know what that's like, trucks coming in and out, a lot of noise. But the homeowner, his name is Muhammad Ali Al-Falasi, he's put up this big printed sign. It's in Arabic and it's not a keep out warning. It's actually a genuine apology to his neighbours.
And the sign reads, apology and sorry for the inconvenience, my dear neighbors. The Prophet urged kindness towards one's neighbor and the rights they have. I apologize for any disturbance I have caused in the past or may cause in the future, and I hope to complete the construction soon so I can be honored with your good neighborliness. Your brother, Muhammad Ali Al-Falasi.
And the move is inspired by love. He said before the building began, his wife reminded him to value neighbourhood's comfort as much as the project's progress. Shout out for this nice move, because if you're a neighbour of a construction, it can be quite bothersome. Have you ever felt the pains of living near a construction site?
I haven't lived near it, but I cross it every day to my place at home, and the road is closed, so you go through the whole footpath thing that they've built. I don't know what they're doing. It's a deep excavation, they say, but thankfully it's not such a nice message there, but they have a very nice setup there, and they're like, no, take the way, thank you, oh, road diversion. So even as you enter the road, they have a whole plan for you, big signs that there is something happening, so please, apologies, obviously, but then take this. So there's a better guiding system.
Did you see this weekend the New York Times did an expose on Mark Zuckerberg and his residences in Palo Alto? So he tried to build a compound years ago in 2011 in this neighborhood, and the neighborhood regulation authority said you can't build a compound. This is it's a neighborhood for a lot of residents. So slowly but surely, over the last 12 to 15 years, he's been buying these big houses. He has 11 houses in this neighborhood, and over time he's been converting some are sitting dormant, and all of the neighbors are getting very frustrated because there's constantly security checks, there's constantly building, there's constantly parties, there's constantly trucks coming in and out, and they've tried to do the nice thing. So whenever there's a party, they'll send gift boxes. And at one point, there was going to be a gift box, and I think they sent Bose headphones. like noise cancellation headphones to their neighbors.
That doesn't sound nice that you're giving them noise cancellation headphones. Be like, we're still here. We'll still do this. Just wear headphones.
Yeah, they said like bottles of wine. I think short term, if a neighbor has to build and they make the effort of a gesture of goodwill, such as a sign or such as a gift box, I think it's great. I think Mark Zuckerberg is going to be a long-term thing, and he now owns 11 homes in this neighborhood, and it's like, it's his hood now, and there's security everywhere, and it's a mess. So I'm not sure about that one, but I think locally, if you're going to be building, you're going to have construction, it's really nice to do a gesture like this one.
And you're talking about a lot of cities and Mark Zuckerberg, obviously. I remember I saw one episode of Suits. I think a lot of people would have watched it. There was a case about air rights, that you can't build a building to block someone's air. So I was like, okay, there's air rights? And that's usually in the London metropolitan areas. It's not a very common law. Dubai is thinking of that. I was just Googling it. Dubai is also thinking about that. So most probably in the future, when you're building anything, you'll have to keep in your mind that your neighbors, their air isn't blocked. So every country, every city, every area has a specific movement
You mean
of
like
air.
up?
Yeah, if you're building a high-rise, you have to take permission
Oh,
from them.
yeah.
And you pay them a lot of money just because, oh, sorry,
I think that's fair enough, though, because
Yeah.
it's a viewpoint. And I think that's...
So most probably soon we'll get to see air rights in Dubai as well.
But
where if you build something, you have to pay the neighbors because, sorry, I'm building something and I'm taking your air rights away.
I see. You wouldn't allow like kind of a skyscraper just in a random community.
But they're,
very interesting.
again, with Dubai, the good thing is you go to JLT, you see high rises, they're very nicely built, 3 in a row, like 3 in a circle. They have it planned even then. Even without the air rights present right now in law and jurisdiction, they still have a plan. So you see high-rise buildings and then you see low-rise villas. So it's very nicely planned in that way.
Someone at the top is making the good calls. Next up, we have a story. Someone shared her opinion about filming good deeds. So these are her thoughts on those who film their good deeds, which we see a lot of. For example, an influencer might film the fact that they are giving waters to people in need. Her response to this, she said, being kind is not a problem. To advertise you are being kind and showing those poor people's faces, regardless if they agreed to be filmed. She said, zooming inside their faces and showing how happy they are to receive the gifts and food from you. For her, it's not okay. She said she feels it's not okay to film and show that the world is less fortunate. It's not okay to film and show who is needy.
And she continues, you can influence people also by not recording them, to film their zoomed in faces, to zoom and film their clothes, to actually invade their privacy and show the world you were being kind. Don't let your kindness turn worthless because you chose the wrong way and wrong intention.
Is it okay to film good deeds, is the question we put to you, the audience. Today, you've probably seen videos on Lovin Dubai of people doing good deeds, which were in fact filmed, but we'd love your thoughts on it. We open the floor.
Yeah, I think depends on the situation, right? If you're doing something, for example, if I am serving 1,000 people, if I'm setting an example, and if I do it not once just to make a video, I do it every week, every month. I think it's a good sign to show other people that, oh, you can also do this. Otherwise, I think sometimes good, sometimes bad. Unique things, I would love to have those moments because it helps you believe in humanity, right? I think that's the idea of making those videos. But I
have 2 thoughts on it, and the second thought is exactly that. It's that sometimes it's nice to see these reminders, and it reminds you to put water at your door. It reminds you to put your water in your car. So it's a really nice thing to share these good deeds, but I do feel very strongly about filming people's faces for your own benefit. And you're kind of shining a light on the fact that they have less than you're giving back to them, but you're also, removing their privacy from it. And I do feel like we never know someone's intent, so I won't judge someone's intent. But I'd rather if privacy was maintained. Film away. record everything. It's great. But just keep the person that you're helping. You can film the good deed, but just keep their anonymity.
I don't remember the Indian influencer. He's very Indian. He lives in India. Very Indian influencer, not from Dubai. Sorry, a little out of Dubai example, but he blurs the face. Blurs the face, put a square or something.
Yeah,
he does it. So
simple.
that's one way where he is doing it. You can choose your own way, obviously. Everyone can be creative with it. Try to do the good stuff. Again, helps you believe in humanity. Feeding a bird, the cats, rescuing them, all those things. They all feel good. Actually, you start your day and you look at a video like this and you're like, yeah, I'll be good today as well.
Yeah, it's
I'll be
nice
good to my colleagues. I'll be good to everyone. Everything that lives in this planet, I'll be good to them. It's a nice reminder.
Right, so
Yeah.
it's good to share the good
Yeah.
deeds. You don't need to blur the cats' faces.
Yes, cats are fine.
Cats are fine. They don't mind. We've never asked them. Okay, it is 8:55. It is Wednesday morning. Should interns be paid? We're going to have an expert on the subject to find out, are the majority being paid or not? We don't know. He's going to be with us after this very short break. Thank you, Majid.
Thank you so much, Casey.
Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai Show. Should interns be paid? Today we've got Rami Naim, Managing Director at Guildhall, here to share insider tips on how students and fresh grads can get noticed, how they can stand out from the crowd and make the most of every opportunity. Welcome to the show.
Pleasure to be here, thank you.
Let's start simple. For anyone watching who's on the job hunt right now, how easy is it to actually get an internship in Dubai?
I think if you ask interns, they'll say it's extremely difficult. But if you understand the way the market works here and the dynamics of the whole system, it's actually pretty straightforward. And that's hopefully, I've only got 15 minutes today, but that's hopefully something I can, share while we're on the show.
Hopefully we'll get into it. Put you on the spot. Should internships be paid?
100% yes. But once again, we need to understand how the whole organism in the UAE functions for us to sort of understand how it works, why you should be paid, and how that sometimes always isn't the case.
So in the times when it's not the case, why are some companies not paying their interns? Okay. And for example, like in your opinion, is experience of a big name on a CV enough to lure fresh grads?
Great question. Let me just start by explaining that there's three areas in play with the internship situation. So you've got the employer's needs, the interns, and also the system. From an employer's perspective, if you look at sort of how they approach internships, it tends to be more of a potentially a nice to have rather than it be a mandate. So for them, depending on who your manager is and how they value an intern specifically, you're going to have a completely different experience. Now, a lot of the people that we speak to in terms of employment, they sort of see them as a bit of a resource drain, to be honest with you. And that's how we have to re-educate them and say, listen, no, a good intern will be one of your superstar hires forever. And because the UAE is mainly an SME-based market, a lot of business owners are kind of worried about bringing someone in, training them, and then they go off to a competitor, for example. So from their perspective, I sort of understand that they kind of a bit closed off. And to answer your question about the working for, let's say, a Big Four accounting firm or something like that, then yes, I think it does. If you get one of those and you're fortunate enough to do it, I think it's probably one of the best stepping stones you can have into industry. But the stats show that's actually quite unlikely, really. If you want to be realistic about it, the UAE has from the stats that we've done research on, 30,000 graduates per year, and at any one time there's about 500 internship jobs online.
Across all industries,
Yeah.
there's 500 industries.
Advertised publicly, it's 500. Yeah. So you tell me whether that's realistic or not. It's actually very difficult. And I'm going to get onto the system challenges we have. From an internship perspective, like an intern, like I mentioned, the competition is so high, and they don't necessarily know how to get into a company, right? They just think a CV or a cover letter is going to do it, when it's completely different. you've got to really understand the value you bring to a business. Are you just an intern or a resource drain, or are you a value addition? And as soon as an intern understands what they can bring to a company, and you've got to look at it, you're essentially a personality hire. So if you don't really push yourself out there and be known and network with the right decision makers in a company, you're sort of just screaming into the ether. There was really no, you're swimming against the ocean, as the current, as I like to say, because you're competing not only with other interns, you're also competing with everyone in the world applying for the same job as you are. And like, for example, I've got a story where we advertised a marketing intern job at our company. We received hundreds of applications. Some of these guys, I mean, it's like 10, 15 years industry experience, and they're just, just applying randomly. So,
wow.
Yeah, and that gets me on to the last thing, which is the system, which is just completely broken. Really, honestly, the system in the UAE it needs a huge revamp on internships from top to bottom.
What do you mean by the system?
Great question. All right, so how does an intern get an internship? We've got to look at it this way. So one of the main areas that people have, obviously, are career advisors in their own universities. I don't think, and I don't believe, the universities are doing enough to have enough partnerships with the private sector in terms of businesses. And again, I'm not going to name any names, but I go into universities quite frequently to try and get partnerships with them in order to recommend interns to us, or at least like junior level staff, so we can, offer them out to our clients. The majority of the education institutions that I've been to, they seem to pride themselves on when a student graduates, they get international job opportunities. I'm like, but it's a resource brain drain out of the country. If you're looking to actually grow a huge economy out here, having your own, like a locally trained, educated student coming into the workforce is way more valuable than bringing them from outside the country. So that's quite disappointing to see. And as obviously a well-known recruitment company here, we get maybe around 1 to 2 companies, like universities, reaching out to us to sort of partner with us for interns. And it's very badly done. We get a generic email go out. We usually say yes, we're interested, and we don't hear anything back in return. So whoever is doing it on their side tends to not be like super motivated to actually get these partnerships sorted out. Mm-hmm. I could go on for quite a while, by the way, so I'm quite passionate about this. So yeah, if you want to...
No, interesting to spotlight the university's role in internships. If you've got a fresh grad looking for a job opportunity and they're trying to figure out if it's unpaid, should I take it? What are tells for the student that this will be a valuable internship where I can get my hands dirty, I can do real work rather than getting coffees?
Great question. And that's going to come down to their ability to build a relationship with the technical hiring manager. So if you're, let's say, for example, you're in media or advertising, who are you reporting to? Who are you shadowing? You might also understand that there's only going to be potentially 3, 6, 12 months. Do you put up with someone who's potentially a bad manager just because you're going to get that experience, or do you look for the personality that you just click immediately? Because usually you can sort of see that someone really cares, or they act as a mentor to you, and in that case you can understand that if you do well, arrive on time or early, listen to what they have to say, add value by not just being a passive employee but actually being proactive, doing things without being told, all these little things, if you will be rewarded. And I think that's how you have to put yourself out there and do the best you can in that position. And then, as a business, they are way more likely to keep you on board.
But let's say we're talking about before the job has been agreed on. Can an intern level ask the hard questions without sounding like an entitled Gen Z? Because I feel like there's like a stereotype on a certain generation that, they don't want to do the hard work. But can you ask the hard questions, and can you negotiate terms? Do you see interns negotiating with employers, or if they start negotiating, they'll go to the next person?
I think you should negotiate. I think that shows a bit of maturity on your part to do that, rather than just be an agreeable person in the instance. Especially because it is an SME-driven market. A lot of the internship opportunities will come from those types of companies, and they don't necessarily always have a really strict or set internship program. So if they like you, and like I said, obviously I'll give some tips towards the end, but if they like you already, they will agree to a lot of the terms that you're requesting because they see you as a value. And that all depends on how you're positioning yourself. So yeah, of course, negotiate at the beginning. Negotiate anything from allowances, from the amount of time you can spend in the office, the responsibilities. It's not just pay, which I think they should be paid. Especially if you're going into like a revenue generating position. If you're in marketing, sales, advertising, or media, where you're out there meeting clients or at least pitching, you absolutely should be paid. They should all be paid, but the ones where you're actively growing your business, so non-negotiable for me. If you want to consider a non-paid internship, I think that then if it's a big enough company that you think is giving you a foothold in the industry, then you consider it. I think that's fine. But most of those companies will pay you anyway.
Interesting. Well, the reason the conversation comes forward is because there apparently is a good few unpaid internships and many students looking for them. So if I'm looking for an internship, you've seen hundreds, if not thousands of CVs coming through your door. What are red flags on a CV and what makes them stand out?
I think a red flag is, for me, is something that's almost purely ChatGPT written or a completely AI generated one, which I understand because there's so much content out there saying, listen, use ChatGPT and send it out there. But I want to see the person come through. So I would like to see, just in terms of what their hobbies are, what their achievements are, what their extracurricular activities are, why they're suitable for that role. Make sure it's tailored towards the industry that they're applying to, and ideally even necessarily the company. And don't just ChatGPT write the cover letter. Trust me, it's a lot better for you to just do it yourself. Last year, obviously, like I said, you got AI. Just make sure you send it out as tailored. Now it's just becoming spam. A lot of companies are receiving almost the same email over and over and over again. It's really hard to differentiate yourself. So I would say in terms of a CV, just make sure it's extremely relevant to what you're applying to, and there is some kind of synergy between you and the person that you're sending it to. If you want to stand out.
If you see a typo.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Using photos?
Again, I would say if it's a client-facing position, so for example, if it's a sales role, marketing, media, or something where you might be in front of a camera, I do understand why an employer might want to just sort of understand how your presentability, the way you dress, or maybe the way you might resonate with their target audience. I would say do it that way, but also it doesn't really matter fundamentally. If it's like an engineering position or healthcare, your photo doesn't really make much of a difference.
Do you see many companies saying, promising full-time roles and are not coming through? Or do most internships lead to full-time jobs?
The majority of them do not lead to full-time jobs. And that's because most of them are not paid. This is where I'm going to go back to the system question, because I don't want to rant for too long before. But one of the reasons that it's broken is that if you look at motivations of somebody, you're offering them an employment opportunity without paying them. How motivated are they going to be to wake up on a Monday morning after a weekend out, to turn up early and to do a full 10-hour shift and come back on a Tuesday and complete the whole internship on the hope that they might get something paid at the end of it? That's almost impossible. So the employers have a bad experience with that person. Our interns, they don't work out. And it's like, yeah, but probably because you're not paying them and they're not motivated enough to turn up. And those people tend to be the same types of managers that aren't motivating, they're not inspirational, maybe they lack a bit of charisma, they're just like, you should be doing your job. In my day, I would turn up. Those kinds of old school management styles that don't necessarily lend themselves well to the new generation of graduates that are coming out, who need a mentorship, who need someone to actually, help them through this process. And give them valuable skills and make them believe and trust that this is best for their career. And I think that's really lacking here too. So that's part of the broken system issue we have.
If you don't get a full-time job, is it worth asking for feedback? And do you see these employers giving real valuable feedback to interns after they've completed their time?
It completely depends. Now, because the market here is so competitive, a lot of the times, because when an internship finishes, maybe potentially someone might be expecting a salary, and depending on where the revenue is on the company at that time, they may not be able to afford to have somebody. So they may just come up with something and say, listen, it's just not worked out, or we don't have the budget for that right now, which is probably what the majority of people would get. Some interns, like I say, they depending if they were paid or not, if they're right motivations, right manager, maybe they didn't perform as well because the environment wasn't nurturing enough for them to perform. So then they might just be told that it didn't work out for whatever reason. So it's up to an astute person to understand, is this environment going to be one that's nurturing me, or do I have to sort of be the really proactive approach here and think, I'm going to just do my best, get out after 6 to 12 months, and then see something better.
Before you leave us, what's the best piece of advice you would give to fresh graduates or students starting out on their career journey?
Yeah, so pick and choose wisely. Understand and research a company, and not just the company, the person. Spend 10 minutes less on Instagram, 10 minutes more on LinkedIn, and research the top 50 players in the business. Understand who the right technical hiring manager is. Avoid, let's say, recruitment or HR at this stage, right? Because they're not going to be the ones that are, let's say, taking your career in their hands. They will facilitate the process, and they're amazing when they get into it. But let's say, for example, if you are in engineering and you need to reach out to an engineering manager, that person could be the one that actually would take you on board under their wing and nurture you. So don't just apply for a job that's out there that says internship. Create that job. Build a relationship with the right person at the right company and make sure there's synergy between the two of you, because the more synergy there is, the more likely is this is going to be a success. And that's essentially what you want. You don't want to waste your time at the end of the day.
Extremely valuable insights and advice. Thank you, Rami, so much
Pleasure.
for joining us on the show. That is the end of the Lovin Dubai Show. We're back here every single weekday morning, same time, same place. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.